followed by cupcake decorating with Elisheva for the children in the kitchen. The adults can start making a scrapbook for Hannah. And when the kids are done, they can make their pages and dessert and eat the centerpiece, okay? Now for our bat mitzvah rewind. Dear Hannah, it's hard to believe that 11 and a half to the day years have flown by since the phone rang early one July morning with the announcement that we're going to the hospital! And a few hours later with, it's a girl! Grandma and I danced around the house and told everyone we met, it's a baby and it's a girl! We were so excited. Now, it's 11 and a half years later, and we're all here to celebrate your upcoming Bas Mitzvah. You are becoming a full-fledged member of Klal Yisrael. From the cute baby, whose pokies we love to tickle, you have grown into a true Bas Torah. Your beautiful smile and sunny-side-up disposition shine upon all those who are lucky to know you. Your sweetness and sensitive and giving nature are something we all admire. We have come to see that Baruch Hashem, you have taken on the middos that are part of your spiritual gene pool and made them your own. Reb Chaim Leshner asks, why is it that throughout Jewish history, we find so many Jews who were able to give up their lives al Kiddush Hashem, as well as so many who demonstrated tremendous Mesiras Nefesh to come to Eretz Yisrael? He answers that Masa Avos Siman Lebanim, the spiritual achievements of our forefathers were not only personal achievements, but changed the spiritual makeup of Klal Yisrael. Abraham Avinu's willingness to jump into the fires of war costume, as well as Yitzchak's willingness to sacrifice himself at Akedas Yitzchak, gave all future generations of Klal Yisrael the ability to give up their lives al Kiddush Hashem. Abraham Avinu's willingness to follow Hashem when he said Lech Lecha, leaving his home, not knowing to where he is going, gave all of Klal Yisrael the ability to be Moser Nefesh, to follow Hashem, and leave behind their homes and families to come to Eretz Yisrael. You too have been blessed with an extraordinary spiritual lineage. To start with, your namesake, Grandma Hannah Devorah. I just want to share one personal story, that when it was your mommy and daddy Shabbos Sheva Brachos, there were 3 sets of people that were put up to sleep in Grandma Hannah's home. Your mommy and daddy were married 6 days before, Ephraim and Michelle, and me. So at first I was a little nervous, but I got there, and I have to say that I really felt that I was the most important guest that walked into her home. And I will never forget Friday night after the meal was over, everybody came back and was sitting around her kitchen table, and she already wasn't well at that point. I think she had already a hospital bed right on the ground floor, and it was hard for her to walk. And she said, I want everyone to know this is the greatest night of my life, because you are all here with me. And she turned to me and said, and you're here too, and I love you. And it was so special. She had the most beautiful, warm way that she made every person feel like they were the most important person to her. That's number one. Then you have your Bobby, who has demonstrated that Baruch Hashem, she worked so hard, no matter what the job was, that her children should have a Torah education. Even at a time when people would go to public school and they thought that that was okay, she took any job that she could find in order to pay for that. And here we are, surrounded by all her beautiful grandchildren and great-grandchildren, all still, Baruch Hashem, learning in yeshivas and going in the Torah path. So her nachas is right here. Then we have your Bobby Chaya, who we have had the pleasure of having stay here for this week. And I have to say, I think my ego boost went up. Your Bobby Chaya always has a kind word, and her sense of humor can brighten anybody's day. And this whole Shabbos, all the kids were like, just where is the puppy? When is she coming back already? Where did the puppy go? Everybody misses her when she's not here. On your daddy's side, you had Grandma Jean, who, again, was blessed with a tremendous love for family, and she was a person that only saw the good in people. And I think we all know that throughout the years, we had different challenges in our family, in school, whatever it may be. And even if we would speak about it as a challenge, she'd be like, I don't know what these people are talking about. All your children were perfect all the time. And so she really had a beautiful way. She saw only the good, and she had tremendous love for everybody. Then we had Grandma Ribby, who, when you knew her, she was already sick and things had changed. But throughout her illness, she had tremendous courage and tremendous dignity, plus positivity in the face of such serious challenges. I remember she told me once, I took a music class in Stern. So then you had to go to the Philharmonic, whatever. It was not my thing, but they loved it. So there was a time that she used to go with Poppy every single week. So I said to her, oh, Grandma, I wish you would come with me to the concert. I'm sure you would love it. And she's like, no, I can't go anymore. We used to go every week, and I loved it so much. But that's okay. Some people never had the pleasure of even going once. So I'm grateful for all the time that I had. Whatever came her way, whatever was hard for her, she always looked at the positive side. Then we have Grandma. Grandma, as you may know, has a listening ear for everyone. One day she'll write a book about all the interesting people who have confided their secrets in her. But there are many interesting people, as well as her own children and grandchildren. Everybody feels comfortable to speak to Grandma. And throughout our lives growing up, and still now, we see that Grandma, together with Grandpa, has helped many people learn to believe in themselves. People who never thought they would do anything, Grandma believed in them. They turned their lives around and learned how to believe in themselves. Now, one other person who I'm not sure that you were Zocha to meet, but must be mentioned here because she was a tremendous role model to me and to everyone else in this room, was Mrs. Esther Goldfarb. And I have to just say personally, this is one of the first simchas I ever hosted in my home. And I kept thinking of when I was little, we got sent to your house once just for like a regular Shabbos. And I remember walking in and the sideboard had like 6 desserts lined up. Each one was more beautiful than... Each one was more beautiful than the next. And I was so glad my parents weren't there because it meant I could have whatever I wanted. But I think anybody
the fact that we could send you there without us is also a tribute to Esther.
Yeah. And I think anybody that knew Esther knew that Hachnasas Orchim and opening up her home to other people was one of her trademarks. And everybody who walked into that home, the food was delicious because she was an amazing cook, but also because it was all made with love. She remembered what everybody liked. At your daddy's Mami Shabbat brachos that she made, she remembered that one time Grandma asked her for a recipe for chicken that Daddy liked, so she made sure that was on the menu. When we came for Pesach, she had always things that Grandma liked. That was the first thing she brought out to serve. And she opens her home not only to her family, for a 3-day yontif, a million people. I don't know where to put them all. There were like 6 generations in one house. And everyone would tell her, it's too much. No, I love it. But she also opens her home up to people who no one else really wanted to have. And for her, she didn't view it as like, oh, I'm such a tzaddikas, I'm so special that I do it. She had a tremendous heart, and she loved to open her home to everybody. So each one of these extraordinary women that we mentioned has helped shape who you are today, as well as the woman you'll become. Now, your mommy and daddy have spent the last 11 and a half years teaching and guiding you to follow in the ways of those before you. Shema b'ni musa rabicha v'al titosh Torah simecha. Your mommy, I met when I was 17. And the thing that I remember the most then was there was someone else who was friends with me who was going through a lot of challenges that summer. And I always picture Shani with open arms and this girl falling into her arms crying. That's how I first met her. And I knew she was a prize for my brother. She's so caring and so sensitive. And everybody feels so loved by her. Your daddy, my big brother, and he always will be.
Also so caring and so sensitive.
He is. God forbid anyone should start up with his sister. Boom. And he too has always been there to listen to me. I had a lot of bad dates where I ended up on the train to Long Island. I cried to your daddy, your mommy took me shopping, we made chocolate chip cookies, and all was well. And of course, always there to give a good laugh. So our bracha to you is that you continue in the derech that you started. You continue learning from those before you. You continue being the amazing person that you are, and we all look forward to Sheffield and Holy Nachas for you. Mazel tov.